Govind, would you please come here and introduce our distinguished speaker today, Dr. Chhajer.
We are honored to announce Dr. Bimal Chhajer, if I'm pronouncing it. He's a doctor, as our esteemed keynote speaker for the event. Dr. Chhajer, I just read about him 2 weeks back when we heard that he given a presentation. It is our honor. Dr. Chhajer is a distinguished cardiologist and ex-consultant at AIMS New Delhi. He brings with him a wealth of expertise, including being the founder of SAAOL, the largest chain of preventive cardiology clinical globally and a pioneer in non-invasive cardiac therapies. With over 3.5 million followers on YouTube and authorship of over 70 books. This is very impressive, very, very impressive. Dr. Chhajer incited promise to make this event truly enlightening for us. SAAOL Heart Center, which is recognized as a leading cardiologist center in India and the top heart treatment center to naturally reverse heart diseases, with primary focus on non-invasive heart treatment, including EECP, naturally, therapy naturally, bypass, detox, therapy. Dr. Chhajer have earned stellar reputation as a top heart specialist, non-surgical blockage treatment, over 5 lakhs heart patient, a trusted and celebrated figure in the field of cardiology. He's a very visionary, inventive, and non-invasive solutions for the cardiological disease. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to invite Dr. Chhajer to the stage. Take some, big kind of.
Thank you, Govind. There is a saying called better late than never. And I made a mistake. The mistake is, I apologize to both of you. I did not see Kirtiji Shukla. She is here to sing our American and Indian national anthem. So I apologize, that should be the first honor of the priority. But I take the ownership of that mistake. So Kirtiji is our executive board member of World Rehabilitative New York Center. And we all rise and do the national anthem first. Then Dr. Chhajer, please go your audience.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. Now, Indian anthem, you can all join with me. Jan Gan Man Adinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravid Uttal Ganga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Ujjal Jagati Taranga Tab Shubh Naame Jage Tab Shubh Ashish Mage Gaye Tab Jaya Gatha Jan Gan Mangal Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He
Kirtiji, thank you so much. Now, I have one more order of work before we go on, which is the proper welcome of Dr. Chhajer. I mean, I see editor of our World Rehabilitation magazine and a very ardent supporter of World Rehabilitation. can welcome English, you come all the way from India. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Chhajer, just one simple request. This is your speech, this is your floor. However you want to handle it, you do it. We are all here to listen to you. I suggest the question and answer. If you want, you can keep it in the end, or if you want people to interrupt, they can do it.
I think we will keep it in the end.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you, for coming over here and let me share my views about heart care. And I must thank Rakeshji, Someshji, and the Vegan Mission for supporting this talk. I have come to US only to attend a conference on preventive cardiology in South Carolina, and I was there till yesterday. And for next 2 days I am here. So today I got a lecture, tomorrow in New Jersey there is a lecture. Basically, heart disease is a self-created disease. Though it is the #1 disease all across the world. Across the world, out of every 100 deaths, 30 are because of heart. And these 30 are unnatural deaths. Nobody, in fact, should have died of heart problem. God has created this human body to last for 100 years. We don't take care, so many of us die after maybe 60, 70, 80. But ideally, all the organs are made for 100 years, including the heart. And heart is becoming a culprit because we don't take care. We do not actually know what all could be done to keep the heart healthy. So I'm going to give you some ideas about what to do, what not to do. Heart disease can be created by us and also can be reversed by us. And I'm going to give you tips about how we can reverse the disease. Our human body is different from any other machine in the sense it can repair itself. You scratch on my hand and you scratch my Mercedes car. After a week or so, you will see this scratch is gone. But the Mercedes cannot repair itself, the body can repair itself. So our body can reverse the things that you have done to it. And the same way, when you don't take calcium, body starts taking calcium out of your bones. And you start supplementing calcium into your deposits. The opposite happens in the heart. When you take a lot of fats and cholesterol, they get deposited in the heart tubes and choke the tube. You stop those two major culprits. We stop the blockage from growing. And if you do it little better, then we can also reverse. So this is what is the crux of my talk. Everybody is concerned about heart disease because we see out of 130 deaths, that means 3 out of 10. And whenever you see a death because of heart, you are worried, oh, I may be the next candidate, or that worry is always there because heart disease happens without any warning. Heart attack happens without warning, and you've been seeing people. So I'm going to give you so much of ideas that you will know what exactly is heart problem, what exactly we should do, not only to prevent the disease but to reverse the disease. Next slide. I'll quickly have to go through some slides because they're just to introduce our process. My organization we call SAAOL. SAAOL is Science and Art of Living. Medical science and art, both we have joined as a doctor, as a professional. As a cardiologist, I treat heart disease. So that's from the medical science point of view. And from the art of living, we have taken yoga, meditation, stress management, so lifestyle, cooking process. So art and science both joined is science and art of living. And I belong to Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, SAAOL means to do things in the best possible way. I know how many people are from Rajasthan in this gathering. SAAOL से करना, कोई भी काम करो SAAOL से करो, SAAOL से खाओ, SAAOL से बोलो, SAAOल से रहो, गाड़ी SAAOल से चलाना, कपड़े SAAOल से पहनना, और बेटी ससुराल जाती है तो मदर बोलती है बेटा SAAOल से रहिए, मतलब best possible way. This is what is the meaning of SAAOL. This is our head office in Delhi. Next, this little bit of my introduction. I worked at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences for 6 years. I resigned from there because I thought the treatment that goes on in the form of bypass surgery, angioplasty should not be done, and we should depend more on reversing process rather than cutting the body. Remember, I am against cutting the body for the simple reason that our body is from the nature. You have all of you have mobile phones in your hand. All the parts can be detached and again joined together to start the mobile phone again. Nature does not have that mechanism. These mobile parts are made by us, so we can reassemble it. But you pluck a flower from the tree and put it back, I will agree with you. You cannot do that. So nature is something which should not disturb because we cannot make the nature again. You cut a fruit from middle and then you join it again. Can you do that? Take a pomegranate, detach all the small grains, and now try to repack yourself. Go to the best factories and tell them, okay, you repack it the way the nature has done. Can you do that? Human body has the same mechanism. It's a nature's thing. And before cutting, you think that it cannot be done the same way. So it has got billions of cells, and you cannot reconstruct it in the same way it was there. So whatever operation you do before that, you think, and it is irreplaceable. It cannot be replaced. Mobile phones you can buy, a car you can buy if it goes wrong, no problem. But human body you cannot buy. So you have to stay with this body throughout. So it is better not to create trouble for it. Don't operate. So this is what is my theory about why until that time it will survive. Now have you understood the meaning? Don't you think this is something wrong, grossly wrong into the whole process? The system is so that the hospitals are paying so much to the doctors. They have to recover all the cost from where? So you have to compel, but without breaking you have to compel the patient. So you have to do what? Put a fear that anything can happen anytime. Bus finished. The person immediately says, sir, whatever you want, please do everything. I have all the money because life is more precious than anyway. I'm sure I have given you the gist of the whole matter. And I think I must thank you. I have already crossed the time, but I want some question answers.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So before we go to Q&A, I would like to invite KPG and Pradeep ji to present a little appreciation for Dr. And then Nipil bhai, I would like you to come after this and induct Dr. Chhajer into the membership of World Vegan Vision. Somesh bhai, please come up. Come on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vishwaveda swasti nastadicyo adishtanemihi swasti no brihaspati dadatu.
Okay.
Picture with you and
Is your presentation available on the YouTube?
Yeah, it's there. YouTube, all the lectures are there. And if you want to hear the exact lecture, it is called the most popular lecture of Dr. Bimal Chhajer. It has got 7.2 million people seeing it already, about 1 hour.
Now, I'll start with the question. I'll tell you why. I've been following the vegan diet, not exactly plant-based whole food diet, for 22 years. And Dr. Chhajer's cousin and I actually go back 30 years. And at first I heard it, he was very focused on the anatomy of the heart. I distinctly remember his lecture. He went much deeper into the heart. And today what he distilled is practical, how a simple person can do it home. Very, very powerful.
Whenever we have more programs, I plan to come back, so we'll at least inform you about more lectures like this. So you just fill up a form, write your email and name.
You know, any one of the committee member, you can give the name. We don't sell anything, we don't market anything. After serving the community, all these entities turn all his knowledge free. I mean, think about it that way. He's not a doctor who wants to operate on you and collect the money. So just share your name, share whatever we send with other people. You might help somebody. That's all we care. But these are all our members from media. Please come. Yes. And also, we have some material that is on the table outside.
I'll just share my personal experience. My mother in India, this is almost 30 years ago. She went for a regular screening and she wasn't allowed to come home because she had 4 arteries blocked. The doctor said that you are a walking time bomb and you can't come home. And we had gone to India for a wedding, and of course, they had to do the surgery. After the surgery, God bless her, she's a survivor till we lost her 2 years ago. So, after that, every time I go to India, we talk about my mother. And then lately, every time I go to India, they always said कि इंडिया में तो आजकल ये बिजनेस बन गया है कि आर्टरी ब्लॉक होती नहीं है और जबरदस्ती तुम्हारा बैंक ये स्टेप करते हैं बाईपास करते हैं. Now how can that happen? No, Hindu, you have no idea. Doctors are making money, it is not needed. And a lot of doctors, they are just basically taking money and creating the artificial blockages or whatever it is. So I said, okay, when it happens, I'm a healthcare professional, I'm not going to believe them anyway. But I think the way you explained it today, I have been repeatedly an advocate of fat-free. I have spoken to a lot of restaurant people. When I tell them what they're cooking, मेरे घर में भी खाना आता है तो उसमें ऑयल होता है, टेक आउट लेके आते हैं हम लोग और हम उनको जब बोलते हैं कि देखिए आप लोग इतना फैट यूज करते हो ऑयल पर इंदु जी can I tell you something our clients don't like the food without the fat they have their business to run so as an educated consumer I mean you go to any restaurant any Chinese Italian any food is full of fat so when I tell them then I stop telling them because the consumers want to like that so it's basically seminars like this, like telling the difference between the cholesterol and the triglycerides. I have repeatedly given talks on TV and radio also about the oils, how to select the right oil. And that's very important and that's where triglycerides come from. So very well presented, thank you so much. And I hope, even if one person takes it, makes a big difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just answer one thing about this little oil. थोड़ा सा, lot of people come and tell me, sir, will you allow 3 drops of oil? 3 drops. I said, bhai, I know oil 3 drops they are asking. I said 3 drops I will allow, but you have to buy a dropper. So 3 drops I will allow. No sir, हमारे घर पे 6 लोग हैं 1 चम्मच में खाना बनता है. तो मेरे पास तो 3 drops ही आएगा, standard dialogue. So I counted once upon a time, I said I took a spoonful of oil and I counted 80 drops altogether. So he is telling 18 drops into 6 people, so 3 drops each. I said, chalo, so then I asked him another question. I said, these 3 drops, will you take it in lunch or in dinner? He says, both the times. Then I said, how can you manage 3 drops? No, just 6 drops will go. I said, chalo, 6 drops dunga. Think of it, in the breakfast, in the lunch, you will take 1 spoon in the whole family and 1 spoon in the dinner. So how much total in a day? 10 grams. I said if your wife buys 1 kilo of oil, then it should last for 3.5 months. He said, definitely. I said, call up your wife. Honey, how much oil are we buying every month? He says 5 kilos. So this kind of approximations are very bad. 3 drop लगेगा, 3 drop नहीं लगता. When you add really 1 छोटा spoon नहीं होता. The spoon that you use to put oil is the bigger one. And then every food that you prepare, you eat. अगर 4 dish बनी है तो सब में 1 चम्मच oil लगेगी. So you don't count like that. 0 means 0.
Next question from Dr. Chhajer.
First of all, I just want to thank you for an excellent presentation, very knowledgeable and very thorough and very understandable. And I applaud you for the way you presented the presentation. While we were talking about this thing, I'm a urologist over here by profession, and why the government does not take any steps in India to create some kind of bodies in every city or state to have some kind of a body which investigates all these fraudulent activities that go all around the India. Like the lady was saying, I noticed personally myself that I went as a urologist to India, and I went to so many hospitals and nursing homes and my friends' offices, and they told me that how they treat the patients. Why this thing is still today going on? Why they cannot control this thing? Why there is so much fraud in medical field?
Let me tell you what happened. In India, the legal system is very bad. Crores of court cases are pending.
Yes.
You go to the court, they will take 10 years to decide what is the final verdict. So the problem is the rules are there, but nobody follows the rules. That is a major problem. In US, at least that part is good. That if you do a fraud, you will get a ticket or hold off, and within few months you will get the punishment. In India, that punishment is eluding us, so the fraud is going on. But fraud is not in medical field everywhere. Even the politicians, they have so much of fraud. So I don't know. India has few good things, few bad things. Here, at least you are secured from that angle that if somebody does an injustice, you can go to the court and take him to, you can target, you can punish them. But in India, that is a major problem. Advantage ये है कि रूल आप भी तोड़ लो और आपको भी कोई कुछ नहीं बोले. So that is an advantage. But again, it's not good. Definitely, the government says I've got so many bigger problems. What is this small problem? Why are you talking about that? And then some of the politicians, they also get a bypass surgery. Angioplasty is done, so the doctors, they know everybody. So there is a lobbying. So a lot of things you can't really answer this. You're fraud over India.
Just for the benefit of everyone, can I please request just short questions, please? And next I have Mr. Vibhuti Jha.
Okay.
Namaskar. Very useful and priceless information, but you have reached only 7.2 million people. What's your plan to make it available for 8 billion people?
I'll tell you what.
Number two, you showed a machine that transfers blood
From the legs.
Where can we get it? And
You just type ECP center near me. In US, at least 100 centers are available. ECP is available in USA and it is paid by the Medicare. And even if you pay from your pocket, the whole ECP treatment takes about $3,000 or something like that. So anyway, this is one part. And second, you said how do we spray it? I'll tell you what. I have a very big plan of educating 140 crore people of India. We are divided. This is my next 5 to 10 years plan. We have divided. We have selected 5 districts to do a trial run. That in a district we will get hold of some powerful people like Chhajer. In this whole district, you are the chief for spreading this awareness. We'll make a film. Now, this gentleman from that district, suppose there are 5 more towns or 6 more towns, everywhere he will, add up one members. So this committee will get the doctors. The doctors will educate that you have to look for the best everywhere. And then every corner of the village, every panchayat, we want to hold one lecture. It does not need money because I have to give them a pen drive and a laptop, that's all per district. So every day there would be lectures. And initially we do it in 5-6 districts, and now then we will take up all 779 districts of India. So educating the whole masses on heart care, and this we call Mission Beat Heart Disease. And for that we have an NGO called Punya Heart Foundation. Now what is this Punya Heart Foundation? I'll just give you an interesting story about it. There was a gentleman whose friend died. He was 60 years and the friend died. So he started thinking that मेरे भी time आ रही है. So he starts thinking अब क्या होगा. Then he thinks यार इतना कुछ इकट्ठा किया, इतना काम किया, इतना कुछ बंगला गाड़ी सब खरीद लिया. Then what will happen to these? He was deeply sorrowed कि ये सब छोड़ के जाना पड़ेगा. फिर उसके दिमाग में आता है कि यार ये सारा ऊपर लेके जाऊँ तो मैं enjoy कर लूँगा, क्या खराब है. So he starts toying with the idea कि ये सारा ऊपर लेके जाऊँगा तो अच्छा रहेगा. So he starts asking people, do you know how to transfer all these to heaven? Now everybody laughs at him. पागल है, we don't have a dialogue. अरे खाली हाथ आया है, खाली हाथ जाओगे तो सही ले जा पाओगे. He said no, there must be some way. ऐसे कैसे होगा? Then after 5 years, everybody tells him he's a pagal. But then he's trying his hard. Then he meets a fakir, fakir. वो बोलता है मैं सारा ट्रांसफर करवा दूँगा तेरा. बोलता how do you do that? बोलता अमेरिका गया है, बोलता गया है. तो पैसे कैसे लेके जाता हूँ? बोलता डॉलर में चेंज करके लेके जाता हूँ. इंग्लैंड गया बोला पाउंड में चेंज करता हूँ. दुबई गया बोला दिरहम करता हूँ. बोला ऊपर ये करेंसी नहीं चलेगा. बोलता फिर बोले इसको खर्चा करके पुण्य इकट्ठा कर साथ लेके जाना.
Thank you. I have established for
So this is what is called Punya Foundation. Punya Heart Foundation is what we have formed. That let's educate everybody. I do these lectures not because I get money, but I get lot of satisfaction that I have informed so many people, and informing one by one does not help. So I went to YouTube. About 10 days back, there was a gentleman, he's a young chap in Bombay. His name is Simani. He asked me that, doctor, I want to do an interview. So I gave a 1 hour interview to Simani, and that was 10 days back. It was released, and today I got 1 million views of that lecture, 1 hour. So हर दिन 1 लाख लोगों ने देखा. So it's not few hundred. And I've got today one more gentleman, Praveen Chopra ji, just stand up. He's a journalist. So today he took an interview of mine on these lines. And he has a website called Lotus in the Mud. So he is trying the South Asian community को at least education करना है. So I told him that you plan to get all the South Indian people to listen to this kind of lectures. तो आपको भी बोलूँगा जैसे कल I got a lecture in New Jersey. So if you have anybody in New Jersey, take that detail. And where is that? Chinmaya Mission. Can you give me the detail? Cranberry Chinmaya Mission at 7:30 tomorrow. So you can, if you have a friend in that area, and I think suppose everybody has, so they can at least come and listen to that lecture, understand the same lecture of. Yeah, I think next question. Yeah.
Hi, Doctor. First of all, I know time is short. I thank you, the organizers. It's a very, very good community service. It's God's work. Bottom of my heart, I thank you them. Very important. Second thing is, I have 6 questions, but I will ask only 1 or 2. One is, I'm a non-medical personnel. I'm asking you the question. APOP protein A, you have mentioned here. How we can reduce that? Modern medical science cannot do that. This is number 1 question. Number 2 question is, you said we are not supposed to eat any nuts. I'm an inborn, lifelong vegetarian, and I can say emphatically, in vegetarian diet, there is no B12 group. So we have to have a vitamin supplement or nuts. So I take everyday nuts.
Let me answer these 2. The nuts don't contain enough B12. B12 is only present little bit in the vegetables, but our body makes lot of B12 in the gut. In the intestine, there are lot of germs. They make lot of vitamin B12. And still, if you can count your B12 level, and if it is low, you can take a supplement. I have no problem. Especially after the age of 50, if the B12 is less, you can take supplement. So far as lipoprotein small a, that's what they call it. They are outside this cholesterol and triglyceride. This is a genetic factor which helps to build up the blockage. Another, like the 6 things I told, blood pressure, sugar and all that. Similarly, this A1, that lipoprotein A1 is another factor which speeds up the blockage. They don't create the blockage, but they help to speed up the blockage. So if you can check yourself, if it is more than 40, then you have more chances, so you lower the cholesterol much more than whatever we are doing. So 130, you try to keep it at 100, so it will give you additional protection. That's it.
Very good question.
Thank you.
Other questions I will ask later.
Okay.
Thank you. I need to go to the other side of the room too, so I'm going to take 2 people here. then I'll come to the middle of the aisle. He raised his hand first, then I'll come to me.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Bimal Solanki. I'm a general surgeon, so I've seen what the surgery is like and what the blood is like and how to flow the blood in the body. My question to you, I'm impressed with your talk, particularly about the diet, and everybody knows you're mostly vegetarian also. My question is about the stress. Your fourth one was the stress, and I would like to hear from you or anybody in the audience who could define the stress, give the different type of stress, and how to reduce, and the last step, how to eliminate it. And the spirituality, does it play a role, or the...
Let me answer that. That's a big question. Stress, there is no measurement. 10 gram stress है, 1 quintal stress है, 100 meter stress है या 10 kilometer का stress है, because there is no unit of measuring the stress. So you smile in front of the doctor, he says, oh, you are such a relaxed person, but inside you are so much stressed. Stress, in medical science they describe anything that leads to secretion of adrenaline and steroid into the blood. That's medical definition, nothing to do with common people. If I have to describe stress for common people, it is something happening against your wishes. Anything that happens which you don't like is stress. So you want to go somewhere and somebody says don't go, you are stressed. You want somebody to behave like this, your son, he does not behave, you get stressed. So anything that happens against your wishes. Now there are two factors. One, what is happening and what you want. What I want is my wish, and what is happening is reality. Now we try to match every day. How many times you know? Not 100, 10,000 times. Every step, every sentence we match. If it is according to me or not. Suppose I saw here there is a white spot. Oh, kahan se aa gaya ye? Immediately there is a little stress, but not a bigger one, smaller one. Why he said like that? Why he is late? Why I am late? Everywhere, every point you will get stressed. खाने में salt ज़्यादा है कम है. खाने में वो तीखा ज़्यादा है, गरम है ठंडा है. इतना गरम क्यों दे दिया? इतना ठंडा क्यों दे दिया? Everywhere we are matching. If it matches, happy. If we don't match, unhappy. So stress keep on generating 24 hours in our life. We cannot cut down the stress to zero. और zero लाना बड़ा खराब बात है. अगर zero ले आए ना तो आप काम भी नहीं करोगे.
डॉक्टर साहब अभी तो सब कोई औरतों को स्ट्रेस हो रहा है कि घी तेल के बगैर खाना कैसे बनेगा?
नहीं ये it's all in mind.
पकौड़े कैसे बनेंगे?
पैसे
भटूरे कौन
सब बनता है. पकौड़े, समोसे, कचौड़ी सब बनाते हैं. आप जाओ वहाँ पे
15 days.
We have
I'm going to go quickly now. Just few more questions.
Stress का we tell people half कर दो stress. Half कर दो मतलब क्या हो गया? Unnecessary वाला बंद कर दो. There are two bigger stresses, smaller stresses. Smaller वाला कौन सा है? ये 5 मिनट लेट क्यों हुआ? इसने ऐसा क्यों बोला? इसने ऐसा क्यों कहता? ये सारे छोड़ दो. इसमें बड़ा लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बड़े को पकड़ लो. पैसे का कमी है तो काम ज़्यादा करते हैं. अगर वेदर खराब है या बच्चे को पढ़ाना है तो bigger stresses you adhere. Try to give up the smaller ones. We are busy with the smaller ones. ये यहाँ पे सामान रखा है, गंदा क्यों है? Now all these, if you can give up, half the stress goes down, and then doing meditation helps it. So stress you cannot make zero at all. Definitely not. And don't think I am also in that category. Nobody gets zero stress. थोड़ी बहुत stress होगा तभी आप काम करोगे. Next.
Neeru Brahmari.
Hello, thank you for very good information. My question is, I worked in nuclear cardiology for 25 years. In fact, I understood much better than my license of what I did for. So my question to you is, a normal population data, suppose in our blood markers are good. Our cholesterol is good, our triglycerides are good, our blood pressure, everything is good. And this is controlled by preventive maintenance of the medications. And but we are not following the vegan vision. So we have their population of the statistics we fall in. Triglycerides are fine, LDL, HDL is all in normal range, blood pressure is fine, but all controlled by medications. But not following the vision protocol. So where did that population be fallen?
No, see, you can always control at least 4 cholesterol, triglyceride, BP, sugar by medicines. But walking you cannot control by medicine. So you have to do your efforts as much as possible. And then after that, even if you cannot control, then I can give you medicines. So when a heart patient is a confirmed heart patient, I don't wait for them to control. First thing I do, I give them all the medicines so that I bring everything to the rock bottom. So that at least from the next day he is protected from heart attack. And then we tell them you start following this diet of walking, exercise and all to reduce your weight. So as much they can do, they will do. Suppose they lack somewhere, I can make up with the medicines. But again, these numbers are very important. People come and tell me, sir, my cholesterol is very good. I said, give me the number. Sir, 200. I said, how it is good? I need 129. No, sir, वो लिखा है ना 100, 200 तक चलता है. I said, no, चलता है, नीचे वाला लो. तो मेरा आदमी अगर वो पेन 200 में लेके आएगा तो मैं क्या करूँगा? उसको नौकरी से निकालूंगा पहला कि तुम्हारा कॉमन सेंस बहुत जब 130 में मिल रहा था तुमने 200 वाले से कैसे खरीद लिया? बोला सर तीनों अवेलेबल था. I said तीनों अवेलेबल था but we are looking for the best. So this is how I look at it कि कोलेस्ट्रॉल के नंबर में कभी नहीं बोलता हूँ नॉर्मल को मानता हूँ तो मुझे नंबर बताओ. Usually वो ज़्यादा को ही नॉर्मल मान के चलता है. Most of the people do that. But again, since you are a doctor, so maybe you will know better. But I want 130 or less than 130, not anything more. So even if you eat little bit fat here and there and you maintain your lipids and everything, chances are definitely less that you get a heart attack. But I want the best is defined. If you want to do little less than the best, I have no problem. But again, depends on what you want. अगर हार्ट की बीमारी है तो फिर मैं कोई compromise नहीं करना चाहता. So you check the CT scan, find out the blockage, and then decide how much liberty you want to take.
Miss Anubhanex, thank you so much for all the information. So I saw your clips with the Rashomani just last weekend. I must have shared it with at least 50 people. And I'm a physical therapist myself and a fitness enthusiast. I already have a list of 20 people who I can refer to in India from near and dear ones. They're in different phases. Some of them have been have all the risk factors. Some of them have undergone angioplasties. Some of them have undergone CABGs. So my question to you is, people who have undergone angioplasty, how would this program work for them? They already have been a part of the system.
That's all right. See, remember, they have to protect that blockage coming back again into that stent. And for that also, they have to follow everything to the best. So if you have already done a bypass surgery, angioplasty, you cannot wait for the second one to come. And it comes very often. Today only I received a call from some patient of ours, remember, and that time I told him don't go for an angioplasty. But somehow the doctors convinced him to get 4 stents. And now they call up today, कि सर उसमें से 2 बंद हो गया, bypass surgery बोल रहा है. But
so people from wherever they are in their journey of heart disease,
they have
everybody
to
will
follow.
benefit from this program?
Definitely.
To build up collateral circulation system.
Collateral circulation plus obviously make sure that everything in the green zone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I guess prevention is better than cure. That is the lesson. I think we are short of time now, right? No, I will go on this side of the room, but you want to limit the questions? Or can I ask everyone? You're okay?
I have 10 minutes. Don't worry.
Dr. Stoop next.
I'm a Susan's practice. My question is, throughout of life we have been told that we need protein, carbs, and
Fats.
And there are certain vitamins which are fats, or regarding cholesterol, which is immaterial, which is better than and other things you say, our brain is fat, our insulation is fat, the immunity is fat. So how are you going to replace it?
I tell people, see there is something called a minimum recommended dose. I think in the US they call it a RDA. That is the minimum recommendation dose. Minimum recommendation of fat intake is 10% of the calories. So suppose you are taking 1600 calories per day, so 10% is 160 calories, which makes about 18 grams of fat. And if you eat chapatis, rice, and all the fruits and cereals and all added up together, 18 grams is it is coming to our body. So remember, the minimum recommended is coming from invisible sources. From visible, you don't actually require anything. So that is the minimum one, and maximum there is no limit. So fat soluble vitamins will come for you. Take 4 tomatoes, make a soup out of it. You will see on the top there is some layer of fat. Where it has come from? It is already there in the tomato. So God has, nature has already provided us with adequate fat intake. So that is coming from there. And there is no doubt. We have a PhD research done on that, on this zero oil diet and our diet. And MSc thesis was written. They have shown that it is about 18 to 19 gram fat is already coming. Plus, when you are not eating, the body has so much of fat that also you eat up. So that is an extra fat taken care of. So I think there is no problem no need to worry from that angle. I think it's taken care of. Yeah.
Just a comment, question. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. You made a recommendation about nuts. I'm like, how am I going to tell my clients you can't have nuts? That's what I think. That's what I
But give me my answer. Give me my answer. If I'm not allowing any drop of oil, how can you give so much of fat in the form of nuts?
No, but at least a serving of nuts is fine. Almond,
See, below 20 years of age, below 20 years of age, no problem. Again, I must tell you, there is a lot of psychology in it. You know, psychology in the sense, I meet a lot of people. So the Bengali guy comes. I told him, don't take oil. He said, no problem, sir. Don't take ghee. No problem, sir. Don't take fish. Sir, I will die. So without fish, a Bengali will die. He says, then I said, if you eat, you will also die. Because it's full of cholesterol. So he comes back after a few minutes, sir, I have one more question. I said, what is the question? Sir, आप तो fish नहीं खाते हो. I said, no. Sir, आपके लाइफ में खुशी आएगी कहाँ से? आपके लाइफ में खुशी आएगी कहाँ से? I said, मेरे को देख के दुखी लग रहा है? नहीं, देखने तो ठीक लग रहा है. I said, go back. After a few minutes comes back again. अब मैं बोला, अब क्या क्वेश्चन रहेगा? सर, आप तो नहीं खाते हो, अपने बच्चों को तो खिलाते होगे ना? ऐसे सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता है. तो बोलता बच्चों पे अत्याचार. बोला वर्ल्ड का बेस्ट खाना जिंदगी में नहीं खाएगा, रो के मर जाएगा. इतना बड़ा अन्याय इनके संग मत करो. नेक्स्ट दिन मारवाड़ी मिला. मारवाड़ी समझते जैनी थे. मैं बोला आप मछली मत खाना. बोला 1 लाख रुपया देगा ना तो भी नहीं खाऊंगा. मैं बोला आप घी मत खाना. बोला घी बिना रोटी उतना ही रोटी. घी नहीं खाएगा तो यहीं पे रोटी अटक जाएगी. फिर मेरे को मिलता है वो क्या हरियाणा वाला, बोलता सब छोड़ दूंगा. 2 लीटर भैंस का दूध बिना जिंदगी में क्या है. देखिए जीने तो देंगे ना मेरे को. 2 लीटर भैंस का दूध चाहिए और नॉर्मल दूध में पीने लायक दूध होता है. भैंस का दूध चाहिए. पंजाबी मिल रहा है, बोलता सब छोड़ दूंगा. सिर्फ 2 पेग शराब बिना लाइफ में क्या रहता है. It's all in our mind कि इतना सा नट तो दे दोगे ना, because they are addicted to nuts. So nuts खा रहा है तो मन में लगता है इतना तो दे ही दो. तो it's not our weakness. The logic is to be very. आप बोलते हो सर मैं ब्लॉकेज चेक किया हूँ और मेरी 10% ब्लॉकेज है. अब ये बोलो 10 साल तक तो मैं प्रिवेंशन रेंज में रहूँ तो कैसा रहेगा? But prove it first. So if you don't have any blockage, which we do not know from inside, क्या मानो 60-70 blockage हो.
Okay, Namaskar. Wonderful presentation, Dr. Saab. I have a quick question. So I have always had a very high cholesterol, but my HDL is also very high. So the doctors told me you're okay because there is also a ratio portion. I want to check with you. And also, is it possible that hereditarily I have high cholesterol?
Yes. Heredity plays a long role. The body manufactures cholesterol. Suppose I've got 100 cholesterol in my blood, 70% is manufactured in the liver, 30% comes from the food. That 30 I can cut off. But that 70 becomes 170 in some people because genetic factors. So they are not making 70%, they are making 170%. So the cholesterol will jump. Now this is a genetic condition. In such cases, we can give you cholesterol lowering drug and make sure that their cholesterol is lowered. But HDL ratio is also playing some good role. So if it is 25% of the, more than 25% of the cholesterol, some safety is there. Still, I would say we should get a CT angiography, and if the blockages are reasonably more than 30%, then you start your medicines for cholesterol.
We have one of our last questions now from Eachother ji.
Thank you. Again, great presentation. Just knowledge is power, and I really appreciate you focusing on knowledge and education. And I think the literacy level of general population, I'm saying, is very low when it comes to taking care of your own health. Another bad part is the pharma companies. The direct-to-consumer advertising is really killing the knowledge of the people because it's antagonizing the thought process. मेरा cholesterol high है, कोई बात नहीं, मैं statin ले लूँगा. मेरे को heart problem है, कोई नहीं, मैं beta blocker ले लूँगा. And I think the pharma companies are really not doing justice. Thank you.
No, I'm seeing this. Yesterday I told you I was in a conference, preventive cardiology conference. They never talked about diet, exercise. They said, sir, वो कोई follow करता नहीं, हम लोग दवाई से control करते हैं. I said, but why can't you recommend? No, that's not our job. There are community health workers. They will explain, but we don't explain anything. We don't have time to do all this. But I will write proper medications according to the guidelines. Exactly. So that is how they look at it. But they don't talk about. It's a preventive cardiology clinic, conference. Nobody talked about diet. Nobody talked about exercise. Nobody talked about yoga. Nothing like that. They all talked about giving this medicine is better or that medicine is better, what combination for diabetes, what combination for lowering blood pressure, nothing to do with the lifestyle. And they said obesity में लोग follow करते नहीं हैं, इसलिए हम लोग सीधा दवाई देके control कर देते हैं. So it's like that.
I just walked around a little bit observing, and a couple of people asked me a question which touched my heart. It shows how much we tested. They said, how can we help? This is what few people have asked me. That shows how good the.
No, I must tell you, see, in everybody, there is a tendency, यार मैं कुछ कर सकूं तो अच्छा रहेगा. So you have given me your mails. I definitely want कि US के एक कोने में मैं ये बात पहुंचाऊं. And I must tell you how popular these lectures have become. Last time, about 4 years back, I came and they told me कि sir, अमेरिका में ना आपको लेक्चर करना है तो 2 महीना पहले से डिसाइड करना होता है डेट. पीपल डिसाइड देयर फ्यूचर प्रोग्राम, तो आप हमको डेट दे दो. सो इन न्यू जर्सी आई गेव देम अ डेट कि 2 महीना पहले से डेट ले लो. सो माय प्रोग्राम वाज फिक्स्ड, दे गॉट अ डेट. सो आफ्टर द लेक्चर सो मेनी पीपल केम, सर अभी कहाँ जा रहे हो आप? आई सेड आई एम गोइंग टू द बे एरिया. सर कैन यू डू अ लेक्चर आफ्टर 4 डेज? आई सेड 4 डेज में आपका अमेरिका में तो 2 महीना पहले से सब फाइनल हो जाता है, 4 दिन में कैसे कर दो? सर आप हाँ बोलो. So I said, चलो कर लो. So he calls up from the same place like you, मैं help करना है. वहाँ पे अपने फ्रेंड को बोला, no, you have to organize a lecture. अरे यार कैसे बोल रहे हो? बोला, I want only 10 people, but you do it. And he said, क्या करेंगे? बोला ठीक है, तो डॉक्टर साहब को डेट दे दो और मैं बताता हूँ. Then he sent messages. Immediately called up, it's the 200 लोग हो रहे हैं. And I did lecture for 200 people on the notice of 4 days. Next day asked me, अब कहाँ जा रहा हूँ? मैं Houston जा रहा हूँ, Boston जा रहा हूँ. दोनों जगह एक लेक्चर किया. After 3 days, after 2 days. So it is something like that. Everybody wants to know all this. Everybody is concerned कि यार मेरे घर पे heart attack ना हो जाए. Because amongst your friends, relatives, you will see heart attacks happening. Because it's so common. Out of 10, 3 are dying. So 3 में एक आध तो आपके जान पहचान में होगा ही कोई. So everybody is concerned. I want only the message should go to everybody. Definitely, I am running 127 centers, तो पैसे का कमी नहीं हो रहा है. But problem is, I want to spread it widely, and that's the kind of passion I got, and that conviction is absolutely so spread information. You have given your mails, and whenever I come, I will inform people, and we want to hold a larger gathering. I don't mind talking to people, but again, it should pass, and I know how genuinely you are interested to spread the information. तो मेरी YouTube channel है ही है. Send everybody SAAOL, and most popular lecture of Dr. Bimal Chhajer करके एक वीडियो है. That's 1 hour and 14 minutes. Already seen, as I told you, 7 million plus people have seen it. राज सिमानी वाली वीडियो है. You can राज सिमानी podcast. So information spread करना है, and whenever I come, I'll definitely ask for help from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I also want to express my apologies. This tendency that we speak in our mother tongue, so some of you might not have understood a few sentences, but majority of his presentation was in English. So that's one thing, and I appreciate your patience. And lastly, I don't have any words to express my gratitude for everybody who is here, those people who selflessly helped me, people who sponsored this event, and people who are supporting me. I was with Dr. Kathani yesterday, and he told me that this practice of lifestyle medicine is now, there was an association, right? Association of doctors who are practicing this. Yes. So there is this moment that, sir, you are having spearheading for such a long time is happening in America in a way, right?
The only thing we want the accuracy and all the factors together. Remember the drum theory. Don't go haywire. थोड़ा सा कर दिया इधर, थोड़ा सा उधर कर दिया, थोड़ा सा उधर कर दिया. You have to be.
So give the name of that institute that you're talking about.
First of all, thank you everyone, especially Rakesh. And Dr. Chhajer and I were contemporaries at All India Institute. I left All India Institute in 89. Here. 92 I left actually. 92. Alright. So again, whatever he said makes a lot of sense. The credit is to make it so simple for everybody to understand. My only additional message and to supplement what he said is that this diet is one thing, but there are other things that we should consider. But before I say that, I want to say one thing funny, and please don't take it badly. We are all going to die. That is a great news you have to take. And you have to be at peace with that idea that someday I'm going to die. And therefore you have to live well today and call it spirituality or whatever, but that is, once you understand that death is certain and you should do everything you can to sort of enjoy life and live well and prolong useful living. Having said that, diet is one component, but there are other components. One is most important, I think, is maintaining relationship with your friends and family. That is the single most important predictor of longevity.
That is stress management part.
Yes.
It's a part of stress management.
Number two, again you can go number two, whichever way, but I consider sleep. So sleep, as Dr. Solanki was asking about stress, and again I don't have a definition, but I think if you keep your expectations low, okay, that will reduce your stress. Yeah. So prioritize sleep. There are a lot of things you learn to say no. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses, okay? I don't have to drive the best in the car, okay? So again, coming back to the second factor, sleep is important. Third thing that is in your hand is moderate degree of exercise. For me, the most important thing about exercise is it should be fun, okay? So don't do exercise just because Dr. Chhajer said you must do exercise. Don't do it as a punishment. You have to have fun. And sometimes it's good. Do it with a friend. Okay? Start out slow. But plan out today what is the fun physical thing you're going to do tomorrow. Okay? And if tomorrow is going to be snow, figure out something you can do at home. If tomorrow is going to be 80 degrees out, figure out something. If tomorrow is going to be 60 degrees, figure out something. The third is exercise. Of course, primarily plant-based diet, and this is where I think the message to public gets a little confusing. Dr. Chhajer's main emphasis is zero fat and no oil. Some people will say, no, control salt intake. Some people will say, cut out free sugars. And this is where we doctors are guilty of communicating message in a broken down fashion. And to get traction, we become adamant. I think, as Rakesh said, primarily plant-based whole food diet. And I would say, you can only make changes that you can keep for the rest of your life. So what I have done for myself is increase the plants, increase the fruits, increase the nuts, increase. And my message is, again, I may differ on this with, Dr. Chhajer, but for me, I have primarily cut out ultra-processed. Okay? So anything that's made in a factory to me is not good. Okay? So I would rather eat something natural. So that's the next thing. And then avoid poisons. I call them poisons. Okay? So smoking is one of them. So all those substances which could be negative. And you might be reading, those who are up to date, I'm reading, the lay media. Till about 10 years ago, they used to say one drink of a red wine is better for you than bronze. And now, suddenly everybody is saying, even a drop of alcohol is not good. So again, medical science advances and
wine
changes.
was sponsored by the wine coalition. Yeah, that's why it's recommended. Yeah, it was done by the independent.
So summary, keep friends and family. Most important thing, at least make 1 or 2 phone calls. Okay, every day make a habit of making phone calls. Okay, prioritize sleep, exercise, primarily plant-based whole food diet, and of course you should control your fat intake, and then also avoid bad substances.
We have it as a lecture also.
One thing, I just wanted to say one thing before I forget. This lecture was there while about 15 days back, I planned that, okay, I must attend this conference. Then I said, okay, why not try to get some lectures? So I talked to my friends from SG, and he organized these 2 lectures. So I want...
yes, so much.
Thanks. He's the person now, he has nothing to gain out of it. He has to come all the way from New Jersey to here with me. And his wife is the airport leave, and his wife, they have taken so good care of us. And I think applause for them.
So the same way, Dr. Kagani doesn't know that. But when I met him yesterday, my purpose was to recruit such talented people, and we will do a 30-minute lecture. And obviously, nothing can compete with the deep knowledge and the experience that Dr. Chhajer has. But we'll try to bring such distinguished speaker, maybe on Zoom, because, and then in the end, we want to build a community on knowledge. The benefit of a community is that we draw inspiration from each other, like Dr. Kagani says that. If I see Vishal doing it, then I'm going to do it. If I see Somesh doing it, Pradeepji doing it, Pradeepji wrote a history of his London family. I'm so inspired by that. One day when I retire, I'm going to do it for my community. This is how one strive, the other, and the candle from one to another candle, and then the whole world gets lit up. So, Doctor, we have no words to thank you. You are such generous with your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ji. Thank you very much for coming to the SAAOL English.